Hey y'all, I'm Emily.
And I'm Sierra. Today we're going to share our tips on what does a dungeon master do.
The Dungeon Master, or DM, is the main storyteller and guide to the game. The DM controls the world, monsters, effects, and NPCs of the game.
NPC stands for non-player character, which are the monsters, villagers, royalty, and of course, little Tommy who fell down the well.
The only people you don't have ultimate control over are the PCs. PC stands for player character. These are your real life friends playing the game with you.
As a dungeon master, you are the master of worlds, which just means you create and control the world you are in.
Now, that may seem a bit daunting at first, but there are many Dungeons and Dragons sourcebooks or guides to various worlds and game settings that have already been made for you.
Or you can do what us in the D&D world like to call homebrew, where you create your own world. Your world could be stuck in the clouds or a planet covered in savage lava monsters. You make it what you want.
In addition to being the master of worlds, you are also the master of adventures, which means that you spend some of your own time crafting adventures or quests for your friends to play through.
Like saving little Tommy from the well. But don't worry, if you don't feel up to making your own adventure yet, there are plenty of D&D source books with pre-written adventures for you to use.
Exactly. As a DM, you are also the master of rules. This doesn't mean you need to know every rule in the handbooks. You are a referee. You help mediate between the rules and the players.
Personally, I haven't memorized every rule in the handbook. What I do when there is a question on a rule is turn to the books. Most rule clarifications reside in the player's handbook and the Dungeon Master's Guide.
The most important tip to note is that D&D is not a player versus dungeon master game. It is a collaborative game in which you both work together to create a story and have fun. Work together, not against each other.
Part of working together includes, as a dungeon master, knowing your players and what they enjoy doing most in the game.
Generally, there are 7 different aspects of the game that your players will enjoy most: acting, exploring, instigating, fighting, optimizing, problem solving, and storytelling.
Players who enjoy acting love to roleplay as their characters with NPCs, monsters, and of course the other players. A great way to engage your players this way is to give them opportunities to act out their characters with various interesting NPCs in the adventures. As for those who like exploring, they enjoy making discoveries and finding hidden treasures. You can make these players' days by rewarding them with items, clues, and treasures when they explore.
The players who like instigating are eager to make anything and everything happen within your world. Ways to help them have fun include allowing them to affect their surroundings and letting their actions put them into a tight spot. Those who enjoy the fighting aspect love kicking bad guy butt on the regular. They are best engaged by springing unexpected combat encounters on them, describing in avid detail the havoc they bring by their attacks, and having combat with large numbers of weak monsters.
Optimizing players love to fine tune their characters and make them the best they can be. They love leveling up, receiving magic items, and having chances to show how awesome their character's build can be. You can engage them best by including encounters that will let their players shine and including quantifiable rewards for non-combat encounters. Problem-solving players, despite the name, won't solve your problems. They do, however, love to solve puzzles, analyze the motives of even the seemingly sweetest NPC, and unravel the villain's plans. Give them opportunities to solve puzzles, discover true motives, and reward them for their unique solutions.
Players who love storytelling want to contribute to the narrative you're creating. They are heavily invested in the plot. Ways to engage them are through using their character backgrounds to help shape the campaign, making their character actions guide future events, and giving NPCs they encounter ideals, bonds, and flaws the players can exploit.
Ultimately, the Dungeon Master has control over the world and story, but make sure to work with your players and let them affect the world so you all can have the most fun with this game.
Being a dungeon master can sometimes be a little overwhelming, but you can do this. Work with your friends and talk about what kind of game you want to run. Find your passion behind it, and everything will fall into place.
Everything we've talked about today you can find in the introduction to the Dungeon Master's Guide, and remember, D&D is meant to be fun for both the players and the Dungeon Master.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Put in the comments below the needy questions you want answered.
And we'll see you next time. Y'all should subscribe because this is hilarious. Okay.